Charlize Theron, welcome to the project. You're back now for Addams Family 2. After the fun of the first one, was this just like the easiest decision ever?
Yes, very much so, yes. I mean, it's a no-brainer when you get to be part of something that you can share with your family the way I've been able to share this film with my two daughters. This was a no-brainer. I mean, I feel like I'm just gonna show up at their door to just keep recording her voice, no matter whether they want another movie or not. I'm gonna just absolutely miss doing this.
That's a great point, because we're so used to seeing you in more serious roles. So was it lovely being able to share something more lighthearted with your kids?
Yes, very much so, because truth be told, my children are not going to see any of my work until they're 52. So this was a nice way to show them what mom does when she's not around.
On that point, are your daughters aware of just how big a star their mum is these days?
No, I mean, they just think it's weird. They're not, if they do, to them, it's not impressive. It's kind of embarrassing. They're like, the last time I was on a billboard, my kid one day just went, "Don't look, don't look, don't look, don't look." I was like, "What? Another billboard of yours?" I was like, "Oh my God, I thought there was like a murderer behind me." She's like, "Don't look, don't look." Oh God. So they're not impressed at all.
Charlize is often tight-lipped about her family and her private life. Understandably so, after she set tongues wagging when she said this about dating.
I've been on a few dates, but I haven't dated anybody for over 5 years.
Me too!
I'm always open, but I feel like I'm in a place in my life where you gotta come with a lot of game.
Charlize, you've spoken before about how intimidating it might be for men who want to date you. And I'm wondering if the decision to say that publicly actually backfired, or it was a positive. Were you inundated with dating offers after that?
You know what? I have learned through that experience to not talk about my dating life, because that became a little awkward for a second there. Liz, all I will say is that my dating life is healthy. And, maybe because of that comment, I've found myself in new situations that have definitely not been of the vibe of somebody being intimidated. So I'm really happy with where things are.
And we are happy for you. But talking about intimidating, I've read where a lot of bookies are running odds on you being the next Bond. Would you be up for that?
Listen, it's such to even just hear that sentence and you saying that, it's mind-blowing to be thrown into that hat. But I do think that the conversation around this particular subject is interesting, because I think it's not so much that Bond should be female. I think what people are really asking for and acknowledging is that there's a real need and a hunger for women to have more opportunities to play roles like that. And I think that's really what the conversation is and should be. We don't want to go and take over male characters. I think our need and our excitement lies within the opportunity to go and create our own Bond. And that's really exciting.
So tell your story. Be proud of it. Don't worry about everybody liking you. It's impossible. Wash your face even when you're really tired at night. Take risks. Radiate empathy like you've got a tap of it, and fight for change, because it's people, especially girls, who have the power to create change.
Charlize, I hope you don't mind, but on a personal note, I have to say I was thrilled when I discovered that I'd be speaking to you today, because I was reminded of some of the speeches that you've given over the years, incredibly moving speeches. And I'm wondering, as an actor who's used to speaking other people's words, whether or not those words that you've said in some of those acceptance speeches come easily to you.
No. I think there's such a misunderstanding about actors being performers, and that's not necessarily the case. Not all of us are Hugh Jackman. God, I wish. But I am not good on a stage. I feel safe when there's a fourth wall as an actor and I don't feel like I'm performing for somebody. And when you give those speeches, you see all these faces, and it's, to me, incredibly intimidating, and I'm not naturally good at that. So it's a lot of work, and I have to really sit down with my thoughts so that I don't get so overwhelmed that I can't really say the things that I really want to say. But I break out in hives, and my blood pressure goes through the roof, and it's not my natural environment. It's not where I'm like, this is where I belong.
Well, that certainly doesn't show, because every time you do get up and speak from the heart, a lot of people, women in particular, listen and hear your authenticity, and I am one of them. So, Charlize, thank you.
Listen, can I just click? This is like a mic drop. You just made my day. So thank you for saying all those nice things. And it's always awesome to feel supported by other women. So thank you.
Isn't she great? The Addams Family 2 premieres in cinemas on the 6th of January.